Welcome to the Savage Sports Podcast. I am here with Jody Morris talking racquetball and other stuff, maybe. We'll see. Jody, I know a little bit about you, but tell us about yourself. I know you play racquetball.
Right on. So, thanks, Cody, for doing the podcast. A little bit about me. I'll talk about my racquetball career mostly, not personally. I have 3 kids, and 24, 22, and 16.
Wow.
And then I have a nephew that I kind of raised. He's in the Marine Corps now, so he's 20.
Hoorah.
Yep. Been playing racquetball since I was 19. That was 1986 is when I first started with that. Buddy of mine took me down to the YMCA, started hitting the ball around, and fell in love with it right away.
Which city?
Houston.
Houston,
Born and raised
Texas?
in Houston, yep. Right.
Excellent. And what's your current rank in doubles? You're really good at doubles.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know, Cody. I'm sorry.
Dang it. I wish I had written it down because I prepped it last week and I had your number. And it's in the top 300 in the U.S. So you're still in the pro stratosphere. I wouldn't say the pro level of doubles. You're in the pro stratosphere of doubles. So like you would be playing probably tier 3, tier 4 events if you were working full time on that. I feel.
Well, yeah, I'm 55 now, so I don't know about that. I can tell you my highest pro ranking ever.
Okay.
Was I got as high as 36.
Amazing.
Yeah, and that was in 2014, as a matter of fact. But I was playing a lot of events. We had some events here in Texas, as people may remember. And so I got a lot of ranking points participating, and that was a lot of fun. That was my highest ranking ever, was in the singles, was 36.
Okay. So you were playing the singles at the time? Okay. So who were some of your favorite, what year was that?
That was 2014, 2015.
2015, so like 100 years ago?
Pretty much.
Okay. So in 2014-15, who were 2 players that you played incredibly close, one player that you played incredibly closely, and then another player who would smoke you all the time? Who are those 2 guys?
Are you talking, well, all the pros would smoke me.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, I'm an open player, really. I have been for a long time. I've never really considered myself a pro. But I enjoy playing pro events. So,
that's fake news. You've definitely been a pro.
Well.
36 is an incredible number. Don't let anybody else, including your subconscious, tell you otherwise.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But, I never really did beat anybody at that level when I was playing in those events. I win a qualifying round and then get to the next round. I made it to the round of 16s and then get smoked. I actually got a chance to play Kane down in Edinburgh in a round of 16 match that was streamed on the IRT network. And John Scott was announcing, and that was kind of the highlight of my pro career, which the scores were 0, 2, and 4. So
well, just think about it this way, Jody. If you were 32 in tennis, just in the U.S., you would be a millionaire from making it to the quarters a couple of times. Because, I think you get like 15 to 100 grand if you make it to a good quarters. And, if you add that up over like 3 or 4 years, you could fairly easily have $1 million at number 36. So I know it doesn't translate the same way, but that's a really big accomplishment.
So that was the highlight of my pro career. But I enjoy playing doubles. Back to the doubles question. I really enjoy playing doubles now as I've gotten older. And, always one of the key things about playing doubles is finding a good partner. And Scott McClellan and I play a lot of open tournaments. We've won lots of open tournaments here locally. And then when I play seniors events or masters events, I have a couple of partners that I enjoy playing with, Mark Malowitz being one. And we always do well in the masters events or the Longhorn Open or even local stuff. But I enjoy playing doubles the older I get.
And now the Longhorn Open is the second biggest event in the United States.
Yeah, no doubt.
One of the biggest events in the world for racquetball.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed at how big Sully has grown it, and he's grown it, from because I helped him last time. I have my pass from my last year at UT, which was 2012, and then I just helped him for the 2020. Wow. And it grew by I think we had 200, and then at this one there was almost 400 people.
Yeah, so I started playing that event in 94, 95. They had events back then. So, of course, it was just an open tournament at that time, but I've seen that event grow, especially, you mentioned Soley, especially with his leading that event. It's just amazing. And this year's spectacle was really, really awesome. And I want to say it was 2000, 2001, that event had all the Kane was there, Cliff was there, Jack was there, Ruben Gonzalez was there. But since that time, really none of the IRT, the WRT guys did a great job. But now that the IRT's back, it's freaking awesome. It reminded me of the U.S. Open. So that's the atmosphere that was going on there. But anyway, if you haven't been, which you have, but the audience is listening, if you hadn't been to a U.S. Open, that Longhorn tournament was right up there with that, in my opinion.
Well, I think because of how big and how many courts there are, if UT allows it, it could be the biggest tournament in the States.
Hi, we were in Florida, and then we came, and then we've been sick over a week now, so that's why we just couldn't come in this month, almost not yet.
Okay, I'm doing an interview. Okay, but
maybe
we'll see you this week.
Hopefully.
Okay, so let's talk junior racquetball.
Junior racquetball. I like that. So we were just visited by one of Jody's juniors who's been missing some time, and that interruption was great because it got us to the new subject of junior racquetball. That's going to be in there.
Awesome. No, great.
You run a junior racquetball at Lifetime Fitness.
I do.
How often do you do that?
So, racquetball is my passion, but junior racquetball is one of my passions as well. I've been doing that since I've been here. I've been at Lifetime for 10 years now. And about 2 years into it, I started working with the Weller boys. A lot of folks remember
Weller, and Weller.
Yes,
I remember
the Wellers and George, the dad. Anyways, they since moved away from racquetball, and one of them made the U.S. team a couple of years ago, the junior team. Aiden. But anyways,
only Weller I couldn't beat.
Oh wow. Okay. So, my junior racquetball program here, I currently have 8 kids in an after-school program. We do Monday and Wednesdays. We work from 6 to 7. And I've added...
PM or AM?
In the evenings.
Okay.
It's $45 a month.
That's not bad.
It's 2 hours a week. The kids can come one day or both days, depending on their after-school schedule and their school stuff and homework and all that. And I've just this past week I think I'm going to add a couple of more kids, so I'm pretty much going to be maxed out with my juniors after school program unless I add another day. But I also do summer racquetball camps for kids. I've done that about the past 7 years, and I do 3 camps in the summer, one in June, one in July, one in August. They're 5-day camps. They're 2 hours a day. The cost on that's about $110 for your kid to learn racquetball. It's so much fun just to expose the kids to it.
And do they have to be a member of Lifetime to get in the?
They don't. It's so much fun just watching the kids just have fun. Is really what we're doing in there, exposing them to a new sport, showing them how fun it is. We work for 4 days, and then on Friday we have a little tournament, and I have goodies to give out to the kids, and it makes it exciting. So,
okay.
One of my kids in my after-school program, his name is Ash. He's played now. He's only been playing with me about 6 months. He's participated in 2 tournaments, the Bobcat tournament a couple weeks ago, and he played in our tournament here this weekend. He has a bright future if he keeps working. Another kid I used to work with, and I still work with him time to time, is Miller Roberts. Mm-hmm. This guy's 13, and he's
a killer.
He's putting in the work.
He's a killer.
And he has a passion for the game. And my goal as a coach, all coaches have goals, and I'm sure they do.
And killer is a good thing, just so you guys know that. That's a good term.
My goal as a coach is for my student to one day beat me. That's my goal. And no student yet has, but one of these days, one of my kids is going to beat me, and that'll be the happiest day of my life. So, anyway, I could go on and on about juniors. Texas has a great group of people that are working with our juniors. Mm-hmm. Sandy Long, Sandy Rios, George Bustos, Thomas Evans, and there are others at Brennan. I mean, there's people that really give back to the sport, mm-hmm. which I think we all should.
Okay, so here's a good question, and I'm going to start asking it a lot more for guys I think who have a chance to do this. You have another job on top of this as well that's not racquetball. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You don't have to tell me what it is. I already know what it is. If you could make enough money just doing racquetball, would you like to do that instead?
Of course, absolutely.
So,
I'd quit that other job in a heartbeat.
So if we can regrow the sport enough to where it was back in the 80s, late 70s, there would be no problem with you quitting what you're currently doing outside of racquetball, which doesn't need to be named because it's not racquetball.
Right.
Because this is what I felt, is that you, Jody, you'd much rather be doing racquetball 6 days a week and taking 1 day off.
Of course.
Or 5 days a week, taking 2 days off.
Sure.
Which
Yep.
depending on the week. Because, guys like us, we eat, drink, sleep, breathe racquetball.
Pretty much.
I
can't add to that except say yeah.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
There's no need to add to it. I was just looking for a yes or no, because that's something we're trying to do here, is that if we help work it so that the people who have ambition to be full-time in racquetball can do that with the gradual, slow regrowth of the sport. And so that's one of my goals with the podcast, is to reach out so that we, as young spirits, you're not necessarily young in age, but in spirit, you definitely are. I could tell that sometimes you seem younger than I am.
Well, you saw our interaction when one of my parents opened the door, and one of my students is standing there, and all I can think about is I can't wait to see the young man back on the court with me on Monday or Wednesday, whatever day he shows up. Mm-hmm. Just so I can, we have to give back. And you ask a question. I don't want to change the topic or whatever, but one of the questions you asked me is like, what do you what is this?
What are 2 things that you're
there you go, grinds my gears or something?
What grinds my gears?
Oh.
So this is a funny joke from Family Guy. If you ever watched it, there's one episode where Peter does, and he goes, "This is what really grinds my gears today," and then he talks about things that are really annoying him. And so, I want to go 2 negatives and a positive. Because there's some things that are happening in the sport that we don't like, but there are some things that we do like or could improve.
Right. So there's 2 things that really grind my gears. One of the things that grinds my gears, being such a junior supporter, is adults and facilities that don't welcome kids playing on the racquetball course. I almost said the F-bomb, but that freaking makes me...
You're free to say the F-bomb?
Yeah, that F-bomb really makes me, unhappy with these people. They don't stay. You have to see the future. I'm going to be long gone, but maybe one of these kids that I'm teaching today will be, I don't care if they're pros or not, maybe they'll still be playing racquetball when they're my age. And that's really my goal, is to keep these kids healthy and show them to the sport, let them have fun with it, and grow the sport. That's the first thing that makes you mad. And then these facilities that don't allow kids on the court. I mean, yeah, here at Lifetime, we encourage it, and that's one of the many things I like about working here part-time, is we encourage juniors to get on the court. Right. And we support it, is what I should say. If there's somebody here wanting to do it, they've supported me 100% doing it. Another thing that pisses me off is people in our sport who have a passion for our sport, but they don't do anything positive to help grow our sport. They play in tournaments, they bitch and complain and moan about all these things about what's wrong with racquetball, what's bad with racquetball, how much it costs to do this. You know, and what my question always is to that person is, what have you done to help grow the sport that you're so passionate about?
Right.
Because sitting around crying about it and bitching about it isn't going to get you or anybody else interested in what we're doing here.
Right.
So stop that.
Right.
And do something positive.
So yeah, I feel just the same like that. It's just like politics, in my opinion, and you'll have to come back with me on this one. If you did not vote, whether you're left
Whatever,
or right,
yeah, whatever.
if you complain and you didn't vote, you do not get to say anything.
Yeah, don't get me off on that, because
Well, that's why I said I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to bring you back. But no, that was a super small tangent. We're not going to go off on that one. But it's just a small point. If you didn't vote, you don't get a say. You don't get to bitch and complain if you're not going to help.
people have sacrificed and died for me to have the right to vote, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway.
That's right.
Right.
One of our my doubles partner, one of our friends at the tournament, he just came back from Germany serving the country.
There you go. Great guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Parisi. Okay.
So now you are hosting Lifetime tournaments in South Austin regularly. When are the next two going to be? And what should people expect? And how many people can you have max?
Okay, so that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. And this kind of goes along with what can I do? You know, I'm average Joe. What can I do? You know, at this club, I only have 2 courts to work with. So, you know, you're thinking, well, you can't really run tournaments on courts like this, but you can. And I've tried to, and this is part of giving back to the sport. So I have 3 tournaments a year: February, which we're running this weekend, July, and October. About 40 to 45 is the max I can do. And I have a little different, my format's kind of unique. So what I do is I max out the divisions, whether it's singles or doubles, at 6 per division, whether it's 6 teams or 6 individuals. And what we do is we have 2 round robin pools of 3. I take the top 2 from each pool, and then we have a single elimination playoff. And we play 2 out of 3 to 11, tiebreaker to 7. And I've got nothing but positive feedback from that. These round robin divisions where, you know, there's 3 teams and you play 3 and then you're done, or whatever. Even if you lose one of your pool play matches, you still get to pool out and you still have a shot at winning. And it's happened more than once here. And then we always start my men's B division on Friday night, because with the limited space, that gives me a little more wiggle room on Saturday to, not be crunched for time. So I start on Friday night just for one division, get that out of the way, and then we do singles on Saturday, we do doubles on Sunday. I always offer junior divisions. The first couple of events I had some juniors. The last couple of events I haven't. So that's on me about promoting these events at the junior level, and that's one thing I'm going to work on for my next 2 events. As I'm really wanting to have a junior division in my next couple of events. Okay, that's a goal of mine.
So if we can get you full time in racquetball, we should part of your income. I'll help you work out a marketing strategy so that you can send out marketing pamphlets on Facebook to the parents of 10 to or 6 to 12, so that you can have a more vibrant program with a minimal expense. That's something that I might be able to figure out for you.
Awesome. Okay.
So, congratulations on winning the Bobcat. You won the singles, right?
Yeah.
At the Bobcat Open. So I said this in the notes. I said this in the notes. No young guys in Austin are winning divisions in the Open Elite. Pretty much, all the old guys are dominating in the state of Texas. I watch very closely matches, and it's very seldom in the Open Elite divisions that someone under 30 is winning the matches.
Yeah, I'm pretty humble about things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, thank you. I appreciate the shout out on winning that tournament.
Yep.
I always try to support the kids at Texas State. So I just do my best every time I get on the court.
Abigail ran that tournament?
Yes, she did.
Did she do a good job?
She did. She's one of those promoters of the sport that we need more of, and it's exciting.
She
to see
just
the
got
kids.
sponsored.
Yes,
by Pro Connects.
Right.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
How do you get sponsored by a company?
Well, there's lots of ways to get sponsored.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can purchase a contract and be sponsored that way.
Uh-huh.
You can be recognized by the powers that be that run the companies. Put your time in. You got to get back to the sport. Be an ambassador for the sport.
Uh-huh.
Which I always promote the brand that supports me. I've been with Pro Connects since 98 or 99, so I'm with Pro Connects for
right now Jody is
over
wearing
20 years.
A safety orange jersey, Pro Connects, and it is one of my favorite colors because you can ride a bike in this color. You can do anything, and you stand out. But very few people want to talk to you because you're so vibrant, and so it really helps me for being the extroverted introvert. I don't like people talking to me. I like to dominate the conversation, and so
I kind of feel that way. You're supposed to be interviewing me, but you're doing most of the talking.
Well, you're actually doing more of the talking. It's about 60-40 right now. Yeah, exactly.
I could be a smart ass too.
Right.
I thought you were interviewing me, but if you want, I can start interviewing you.
Oh, this is a conversation.
Oh, okay,
but
cool.
I do have an option. If you want, we could switch the tables, and you could ask me questions. I don't mind that. One of the reasons for having a podcast, I want to get on other people's podcasts and talk about my ideas. But today's not about me. Today's about you, Jody.
Okay.
So back to my question.
Oh, how do you get sponsored?
No. Other question. Back to my question. How is everybody above 40 winning all these tournaments? Why are the older guys dominating right now?
Geritol, maybe? I mean, I don't know. That's before your time, Geritol.
Okay, we're back.
There's some young guys. There's some young guys in Houston that are up and coming players. I think as we get older, we work our craft and we get crafty on the court.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, today, Will Craig won our open division. I don't know if there were any over 40 guys. Yeah, John Casey was in our draw. So, give them a minute, and they'll get there.
Yeah. So my guesstimation right now is that we're in the first 10% of a possible resurgence of racquetball.
Yeah.
It's
I hope so.
It's going to be
no, but that comes from people giving back.
Yes.
Like us, over 50 guys growing these junior programs and these collegiate programs. So I think you're right about that. That's where it's going to come from.
Right.
It's people like Sandy, George, the guys I mentioned earlier, putting in the time.
Or like Maria, she's coming tomorrow.
Yeah, awesome.
She opened up the racquetball club at the college that she's nearby.
Okay, awesome.
That's how I found her. She posted on the hashtag racquetball. Maria Renee Rodriguez from Guatemala. I found her because she wrote that she was opening up like the Schrodinger College over there about an hour away. She was opening up the racquetball program for that college.
Shriner.
I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah, okay, I'm not sure either, but
Yeah.
I think is she up in Kerrville? Is that where she's at?
sure.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know.
I do
Okay.
know, but like my facts get jumbled sometimes,
Okay.
so I don't always have the right words.
Okay, right on. But it's people like that. You know, you have to start a collegiate program when there isn't one, right? And who knows? There may be the next, the next Kane Waselenchuck walking down the hallway at the college, and you don't know who they are. You know. Anyway.
Okay, so one or two more things before we wrap up. You started playing outdoor racquetball in Texas. How are you liking that? First of all, and then second, what's different about outdoors, and why would you suggest people play it or not play it?
Yeah. Okay. So, there's
three pros and three cons.
Okay, I don't know if I can do 3.
Yeah, as many as you can.
Okay, so I did start playing outdoor 2 years ago. I went out there and watched them play, and it's just a fun environment. It's outside. The pros, it's outside. You know, you can drink beer. There's people barbecuing. You can hear people talking trash. You know, you're not inside a room where you can't hear even people that aren't playing. You can hear them talking smack. So I enjoyed it very much, and so I started playing. You know, and unfortunately I was going to play in a tournament next weekend, and I have to drop out because I'm working on a project. It's separate, but I would encourage anybody and everyone to just go out and try it. I mean, what the heck? Just go out and give it a shot. And all we have are 1-wall courts here that I've ever played on. There's some 3-wall long wall courts in Deer Park east of Houston, and I used to play on them some, but it's fun. And the cons are, you can, if it's raining outside, we can't play. If it's freaking 100 degrees outside, we can't play. And one other con that I noticed is the rallies. There's not a whole lot of rallies. It's 1 or 2 shots, but maybe 3 or 4. And doubles, there's a couple more, but you really have to be
precision.
You really have to be accurate in what you're doing. You can't overhit. You can't hit wide angles. So you really have to think. You can't just whack it. You got to really think about what you're doing out there. And that got me a couple of times. But the more I play, I enjoy it, actually. I enjoy it a lot. And I would encourage you to just go out and give it a shot if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to playing with you sometime in the future. We'll eventually play together. But
Ramon Flores is the one here in Texas, PK rep that really pushes the outdoor stuff. So him and Anita. So love those guys and support them, because they're supporting racquetball.
Yeah. And once I get going, one of the things we'll do with the podcast is start working on fundraising, and I'll be fundraising to build outdoor courts.
Right. Yeah, you talked about that.
And then me and Sugavan we're working on an idea for pop-up indoor courts. Have you seen the?
You and who?
Sugavan.
Never heard of him.
Oh yeah, of course not. Of course not. You liar. All right. Jody thinks he's funny over here. He actually is, so that's fine. So yeah, you've seen the Paola experience?
Yes.
Some of those are pop-up courts that they put in different places.
Oh wow.
And so they take like fiberglass courts, I guess, or I'm talking a little bit out of my ass here, but that'll be okay. No need to fact check this. But anyways, they pop up courts in places and then put seats around it so that you can watch the matches.
Portable court.
Portable.
There you go.
Portable. Same.
Yeah.
Pop up,
yes.
portable. Yep. And I think that would be really good because we wouldn't have to work within the confines of the health clubs and their specific rules. We could kind of work with smaller organizations with gyms.
Yeah.
But the other thing was fundraise. My big idea is to fundraise to build outdoor courts and give them to the city.
Oh.
So that they're public use. You know, we can have handball, paddleball, and racquetball be able to use on those. So that the whole city can have multiple sports, be working together. 3 very small sports could be big enough for a public utility.
And get exposed.
Yes.
Right. Especially to people who may not have the resources to join a gym.
Especially a gym like Lifetime, which is...
or any gym for that matter, right?
Sure,
yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
And what really grinds my gears is that right now, as of this moment, I believe there's 72 outdoor courts in the state of Florida. Listed, there is 1 public use court in the state of Texas, and that's the one that Ramon hosts tournaments at. There are 2 private ones that are owned by churches, which are not accessible for everyone. Not everybody can get that access.
What would Jesus do, though?
What would Jesus do? Unfortunately, that doesn't always factor in to accessibility to the outside, because I understand why it doesn't factor in, because, you know, safety issues and blah, 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 you know, blah, blah.
But you said church, but the long walk courts at Deer Park, I know that they're there.
Okay.
And they're publicly accessible because it's a public park.
Right. So that's going to be number 2 now on my list. And then there's a couple in Austin that I can't disclose yet because they're not public use at the moment. But if anybody,
3 wall, 1 wall,
one wall. I've shown. I sent you pictures before. I'll have to play with you over there so we can practice a little bit, so we can beat, you know, Ramon and then when
Mendoza,
yeah. I have beaten them before in doubles, but they were really, really tired. So I'm going to take the W on that one. But you know, that their tiredness level and my tiredness level were probably about 5 levels of difference, and I do have 20 years there lesser of energy to go off of. So is there, instead of doing inappropriate questions, I'm going to ask you, is there any questions other than this that you want to ask me?
You know, I appreciate what you're doing. I mean, I really don't have any questions for you. We need more people doing things like you're doing now, just to get out and talk to, you know, everybody wants to talk to Kane or Rocky or Paola or Samantha or, you know, to get down to the grassroots level, to the club level. You know, guys like Howard, who does a lot of stuff for us, to guys like Mike Cantu, who promotes racquetball in San Antonio, to guys like John Friedman and those guys in Houston that promote, you know, people like that, I think need more exposure. You know, and I'm not a braggart of any sort, but, you know, we have to do, I try to do what I do here, you know.
Mm-hmm. And we're back. You were thanking people. Go ahead.
Yeah, just guys like that at the local level need more exposure and recognition. I guess is maybe more than exposure. And again, I mentioned San Antonio, the guys in Houston. I'm not sure who's really promoting racquetball in Dallas at this time. You know, Leo used to do a lot.
The guy
Dale
who's
Gosser.
the spring and the fall splats.
Yeah, Kevin Sindri.
There you go. Thank you.
Kevin Sindri. And yeah, guys like that. Kevin, sorry, I forgot about you and Cole there.
And Kevin, he has some really good things coming up. Cole gave me some secrets that I'm not supposed to share, so I won't. But there are some really good secrets.
Yeah, those guys.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So guys like that need exposure, and that's what you're doing, and I appreciate that. I really don't have any questions for you, except I just want to say I support what you're doing and keep up the good work. So,
okay.
How's that?
Well, you know, I just want to say that if this works like I hope it works, we can grow the sport steadily over the next 5 years and get you guys some of you guys out of your F-bomb workplaces and into, you know, and so that we can recreate the racquetball universe as it should be.
Right.
And, these people are going to be super. And right now, you're a good organizer. But if you could go full-time, you could be a super organizer. And you could help other people organize organizations. But I don't think you have that time right now until you can go full-time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to give more. I'd like to give more back.
Right. I can tell.
I'd love to spend more time with the kids at Texas State for one. Right. I just don't have the time to do that plus my job and what I do here at Lifetime. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah, you can't have 5 jobs.
I can't. So it's really difficult. I'd love to do.
You already have 4 kids. Your job, Lifetime, playing racquetball.
My kids are pretty much grown now, but yeah, they've supported me. I shout out to Emily, Tyler, and Gabby. They supported me my entire racquetball life, and I love them for it. You asked me a question about playing with Kane.
Playing with Kane.
We can't talk racquetball without talking about him. I mean, the greatest player of all time, and I'm so fortunate that he's here at this club, and he's gracious enough to spend time on the court with me and the guys we normally play with. Shout out to those guys. He's very gracious with his time. He shows up at my events. He supports me. I support him. We've become friends over the years, and I just appreciate that. It's just a wonderful thing to watch the greatest guy at the thing I'm most passionate about dominate the sport like he does. And you asked a question about maybe 3 guys that could push him. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm a little biased, Cody. I mean, until
something breaks.
Until his skill set drops. I mean, I really don't see anyone. Now, I'll say that with a caveat. That Longhorn match with Daniel. You could see
he had an opening. He had an opening for a second.
You can see Daniel has it, whatever that it is, and they all have it. All the pros have it. But when they step on the court with Kane, and please, guys, I know if anybody hears this, don't take this the wrong way. It's just my perspective is they're beaten before they get on the court. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to those guys because I love them all. Because I've gotten to know some of them over the years, running Tier 1 pro stops in San Marcos. It's just amazing what he does. And we better enjoy it while we can. There's some haters out there, and there are always going to be haters, but enjoy this while you can, guys. I don't really see anybody beating any. I mean, Conrado played well at the Open. I was there watching that. Daniels, I love watching him play. I can go down the list. Alex Landa, but I just...
Congratulations on the doubles team for Landa.
And not to mention Rocky. Rocky gives his all every time, and I love watching Rocky play too. But anyway, the greatest of all time. Props to him for doing what he does and is doing what he's doing. And
So since we're on that, how has playing with Kane helped your game and your thinking in racquetball?
Yeah, so he will let you pick his brain. He hardly ever volunteers stuff to me or any of our crew, right? But if you ask him, he will help you. If you ask him to watch you, he will help you. Sometimes when it's he and I are just on the court, we'll do whatever practice or whatever, and then I'll say, hey, can you help me with this? And for 15, 20 minutes, he'll help me with whatever I ask him to help me with. But he hardly ever volunteers it. You have to ask him, and he'll do it. He'll help you. So we play doubles all the time, and it's just fun. I'm the old guy, so I usually get paired up with him, and we have a really good time, and he hits these shots I've never seen before.
I watch you guys play Sully and Bruce, and it is a ball.
It's fun.
You guys are having fun?
Sure. Dude, seriously, when he's playing, he acts like he's 9 or 10 years old out there on the court, and you can just see the kid in him come out. But that's what it's supposed to be about, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's really all I got to say about that. I'm just very lucky to be able to do it with him and the guys here.
Oh, yeah, and Austin is got to be one of the meccas of racquetball. Of
course it is.
Right now.
Oh, yeah.
We have so many wonderful players, past, present, and future. So to wrap it up, I'll just ask you, would you be interested in me helping in the summer in one of those camps?
Kids camps, absolutely. Yeah, right on. No problem. Or you want to help me run a tournament sometime? Because I'm a one-man show with this deal. From sweeping the floors to, it's...
Well,
I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
But I could sure use a hand or two.
I'm always looking forward to learning how to organize and do an event. And one of the things we'll have on future episodes is the finances of an event, so that we can go through with a director who does an event, and we could sit down and talk about the finances in detail, what it takes and how you do it. Because I know I want to learn how to organize events, because I want to organize the outdoors in Austin and have tournaments, because there's going to be enough indoors in Austin at the moment.
You got plenty of resources, man.
Yeah.
You really do. And then if you want to reach me, anybody wants to reach me, I'm Facebooking it most of the time. Most of the time I'm goofing around on Facebook. But like this weekend, I'm posting stuff about our tournament. And then I post stuff about my camps and stuff. And then you can shoot me an email, jlmprok@yahoo, or my Lifetime email. If you want to reach me at Lifetime, it's jmorris2@lt.life. And I appreciate the time, sir.
Yeah, and I'm sorry in advance. We had a little bit of interruptions in the interview, and there might be a couple of cuts. A couple of people interrupted us, but that's all okay. We try and do this all in one take, and we're just having fun.
Yep.
We're just doing this for fun. Nobody's getting paid. Jody enjoyed a great cookie, or will enjoy a great cookie. I try and give my guests some good food. But
good. Whataburger, steak. Cookie's cookie.
So Jody, it was great having you on today.
Yep.
I can't wait for. I'm hoping in the summer we can do shit talking video reviews of pro matches.
Okay.
What we'll do is we'll get permission from the pros we're going to shit talk about, since some people might get hurt. But I have a feeling it'll be okay. I know Kane won't mind. Plus, it's really hard to shit talk Kane's game. I will figure it out. I promise.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
I promise. I'm gonna bring out Rick from Rick and Morty, so I'll figure it out. Because I can do that voice. And so. Yeah, it was wonderful having you today. Thank you for sitting down with
pleasure.
me. This was an incredibly long interview. This is the longest so far.
Because you wouldn't be quiet. I thought you were interviewing me, and I was, whatever.
Yeah. It's just I like talking to you, Jody. You're fun to talk to. You give me a lot of shit, which I appreciate. And so, thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Peace out.